Hey, what's going on, everyone? Here we have the dollar. Pretty nice bounce today. And what we're looking at is a 2-bar reversal on a daily chart for the dollar. This is bullish harami inside of the previous candle. So we'll see how this works out. Closing on its highs. Pretty nice bounce for a daily. For the week, you can see the bounce now off the 13. It's got to break into previous highs to keep that momentum. So we'll see how this bounce gets up in this area, if it's rejected or not. And then on a monthly, so far, it looks like a bounce right off the support. Previous high break. Because of this bullish harami, we're going to have to take a look and make sure that this isn't a continuation all the way back down into support as well. So keep your eyes open, crossing the EMA 8 with any sort of volume on the downside. Because now on a daily chart we are looking at a bearish encompassing. But we did close above 1200, and basically the balance point, which keeps moving, I can't ever get it right, the opposing points is right at 1200. So let's see if support will hold. We got a reversal on the weekly so far forming. We got 2 more days of trading. We do not want to close like that. Although it would be natural for this to come back into support after its rejection. Not a rejection yet, but it's forming that way. Let's see. So look for any kind of bullishness past or into previous lows, breaking into that range. Otherwise, this might be, just an extended bearish retracement back into resistance. So we'll see what happens. But this is bullish 2-bar pattern and bullish harami. S&P, looks like we had another bounce, another reversal bar, reversal bar, reversal bar, reversal bar. So which is going to win? It's the battle. Just trade outside of the pattern. So far we got a hammer, we got a falling star, and we got another hammer. So who's going to win? Bears or the bulls? So look for previous high breaks and look for previous low breaks. And watch out below. But can't tell until it trades outside. We got a cross on the downside, but it looks like the 8's coming back across now, hugging and consolidating at the 13 and right on the edge of the break. Could be a high flying pennant, but it's got a flat top to it. So ascending triangle, I guess. Dow Jones looks like it bounced right off of the 34 and gave us a nice little reversal bar. So look for anything on the upside, breaking in the previous lows, see if we can close above previous highs. Looks like a strong resistance up at that 8 with a downward trend line. Still top heavy to me, but it has a nice bounce today with a reversal bar, so have to pay attention to those things. For the weekly so far, it just looks like a regular old candle coming into support and bouncing back into the range. So trade outside the pattern on that one, I guess. See how we did. Four-hour chart. See what's going on here. Had a reversal there, gapped, filled it. Looks bearish to me, but daily's holding up. Nice hammer right over the 34, right where it should be. Look for previous low breaks, as momentum might just carry, as the bearish retracements went back into previous lows. That's pretty legit hammer, except for the tiny sliver of a wick on top, but negligible. I don't know, it looks top heavy, but you never know. A little sideways action, a little bounce. All of a sudden it's got momentum again. NASDAQ. So bearish Rami forming on the weekly. A little up and down on that top. Looks like it's holding this hammer here. Broke that hammer and came across, came back in, close off another little tiny hammer. Not perfect hammer, but it still has that trading action. Look for previous high breaks on this. Looks like the trend, intermediate trend, is straight up. But so far on a weekly we have a bearish Rami, so I'd have to do something to get outside of that. Still bullish on the monthly. Let's look at gold. Gold has a 2-bar pattern, reversal. Bounced off the 8 for a while, and then it came back in, closing on its lows, so it doesn't feel good. As the retracement might come all the way back in. So far on the weekly, we've got, oh, you hate how these lines don't add up. Stay where they're supposed to. That's a falling star so far on the weekly. The monthly, we still need to confirm the bottom, and because now we got rejected when showing some little bearishness patterns on the intraday, so on and so forth. We need to get up in here for the monthly close. Otherwise, we're still in a bearish attitude. But I have faith that we are bullish, but we'll have to come out of today's pattern. This could turn out to be a 1-2 punch, and someone said that gold and a dollar will run together soon. So if that happens, there you go. There's something to look forward to. Maybe we can stop arguing about the dollar and just keep the gold. But anywho's, you got pretty good potential to come back into support. That was a nice run. Coming back into support, 50% rule of the total run is not unheard of and is actually pretty healthy. So we're well above the 34, unlike other spots where we got turned around. So I still have some faith in this little bearish or bullish bullish retracement on the monthly. We had the break. The long trend line coming out, broke, came back into support, made a high, came back into support, and now it's breaking back above previous highs or previous breaks. Hoping for this month to hit this 8 and come back into support. That is the goal. As far as the intraday, it's the 4 hour, and this is the last 5 hours. And look at that nice little reversal bar right there as it got rejected on the push up. 4 hour chart was very telling. We had support here. Broke through that with little confidence. Came into. Now we got to worry about this whole pattern. One thing that reminds me of right now why I have still some faith that this is just a small retracement is this cup and handle break. And if you look up the Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns and you go find cup and handle and you read through it, you'll see that the breakout and the throwback always 40% of the time will come back to the handle. So with that being said, cup and handle broke out, came back into support, right on the money. But we still have to go forward and move on. I was hoping for a better bounce in silver. We did hold 17, and gold did hold 1200. So there we go. Emotional spots on the chart. Broke over the 17, which was very hard. Came back into the 17. Tried to break. Came back in, making a double bottom here. This could also come back into support one more time. And on silver, we want to watch for this break outside the channel and now a whipsaw. We want to look for a retracement back into support, which that channel bottom is the 8. And that's why I keep it simple with just 3 lines. 3 lines on a chart and a whole bunch of candles. So watch for prices to come back into support. Very healthy. I don't like the fact that it got rejected pretty well, breaking over previous break. It got rejected. That doesn't make me happy on silver. And so far that little push across 13 wasn't as great as I wanted it to, but you can see the left shoulder, and if this wants to be rejected for any time longer, watch that right shoulder come in, and then we'll have a nice flat top break right over the resistance. So look for retracements. I have faith that we're going to keep going, but maybe it'll be short and sweet. I do not know. Keep watching. Copper got rejected as well, and it's still going that way. Looks like it closed on its lows today. Not much of a trading range today, actually. We're at support on a daily, weekly, at support on a weekly. Let's get all three of these and the dollar to move together. A 1-2 punch and a monthly. There's the 1-2 punch. Let's see if we can get this thing rolling. Still got 2 weeks left. Bitcoin. I'm trying to find a way to buy some Bitcoin. Really trying really hard. I don't think the IRS is going to like it though. Well, let's go over the monthly, I guess. Here's a double top. Came all the way back into previous break, and we're bouncing. Bounced a little bit higher and came lower. Pretty healthy. Lots of screaming and yelling about derivatives in China, making it illegal. But it looks pretty natural to me, although it did happen really fast, which is also very good to me. Here's the break. Came all the way back in. Now it's bouncing. Right above the 8 on a weekly. You've got your momentum back. You've got support. It looks healthy. Stay above the 8 on a weekly. Keep it going. You get a nice U and then pop. Crude. Crude put in either a hammer or whatever, because it's not confirmed yet, but it looks like a hammer right over support. And now we got this little inverted action going on. So I think it's building as time comes up. Let's see if the price holds and breaks. With a flat top break on crude. 50 should have got a 60 already. It's kind of lingering. And a rounded top, kind of slow, meandering. Might lose its momentum and come back into previous highs. And we got previous lows over here. It needs to hold right off that 8. So it's got support, but anything can happen, especially if it confirms that hammer looking thing. Hammer turns into a hanging man as soon as it breaks. But it looks like the 8 wants to carry it up. So see if it'll go, price will go with it. Shanghai. Looks like a hammer forming on the weekly. There we go. I think we talked about this yesterday. Confirmation. Did get rejected at resistance though, so I'll have to pay attention. This could easily whipsaw and fail. So far so good. It's confirmed on the upside. But it has to get through resistance levels. So how strong is this reversal bar? So far it got rejected at the 13. Take a longer look. Bouncing off of the 34 pretty nicely. And a monthly, same. Price is in a huge pinch on the monthly. got support 34 and the 8, and it's got resistance on the way up of 13. Pretty interesting. 10-year note. Looks like monthly's been pretty bearish for it. Looks like we got a little green day. Holding support. Closing above previous high. So now we got support. I don't know where that came from. Maybe just a bearish retracement. Although we are working with a double bottom now. We got rejected at the 8. Now it's crossing the 8, closed above the 8. So we got still a little bullish action. We got resistance at the 34 and 13 all together. Needs to close above previous highs. We got 2 previous highs over here. Nikkei. Looks like a little bearish retracement coming in on the daily. Let's see, longer term, bearish. So far closing below the EMA 8. And the double top coming in on the monthly. Two weeks left. See if this thing will hold. Coal. Looks like coal had a little jump. There we go. Got rejected here, made a double top, bounced. Now we got a higher low. We got a flat top break coming in at 46.5. Breaking in the previous lows. It's got to get up to 48 for the next resistance. And still working off this whipsaw at the top. And now we got a whipsaw down on the bottom. And then a double bottom now. Watch the flat top break as this nice W pattern is bullish. Deutsche Bank, word on the street is someone satisfied some of their derivatives. Not sure of that, but some banks in China, I guess. So we'll see how that works out. But it's got a top forming. Could turn into a head and shoulders top on a weekly. Daily, we got the reverse head and shoulders going on. Got to get above previous highs. It did bounce off the 34, making that right shoulder. But reverse head and shoulders happen at bottoms, not tops. So we'll see how that works out. A little topsy-turvy. Your left shoulder, head, right shoulder. It's got to complete it to the upside to confirm. So look for anything below 18, as it will have to come back into support or find support somewhere. It's pretty top heavy. Looks like a bullish retracement's in order on the weekly. And nice pop over the 13. Looks like a retracement is in need on this reverse head and shoulders bottom on a monthly. So look for prices to come back in as it's reached the neckline. It's Gonna have to have some juice to get up into these previous lows over here. Reverse head and shoulders. Look for the right shoulder to come back into the 13, breaking 19.5, 20 into previous lows. AG, let's see how we did on this on the daily. Looks like a retracement back into support right there. I'm hoping the 8 is gonna hold. 8's gotta hold. It covered the gap. We talked about this. My worry is now that momentum's gonna carry all the way into support. Hopefully it's quick if it wants to do it, because the quicker that U churns, the bigger the move. CLF, nice bounce coming off. GDX, right into support. Right into support on GDXJ. Nugget as well. You get the reverse head and shoulders coming in. Not sure if this can be a completed right shoulder or not. You got the left shoulder head and then the right shoulder. Nice U. So I'm thinking just a rejection, coming back into support, gather its legs, and then sayonara. We got a balance point resistance, or meeting line resistance right where it should be, and previous lows right after that. So I think a break here could carry us into the previous range, which is between 11 and let's call it 16. JNUG covered the gap and some, and then bounce, came right back up where the gap was. Weekly, you see that pop over the 13. Now it's coming back into support. Hoping it's quick and easy. Let's go to 5 minutes. I was hanging on for most of the day, and then all of a sudden I turned my head and wham! There she goes. So I broke previous lows, came back in. Here, let's do this. Boom. What's this mark? Mark the previous low. So it broke that, made a nice little hammer, and bounced right back in. That's your bearish retracement. That was your best short. And then you got another short there. That falling star. Got a hammer here, right back in. Got reversal bar, right back in. And then that's where I thought the gap was going to fill, right there. I thought it was going to go, and then it came right back in. 2-bar pattern, higher low, boom, 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 right back into support. Inverted hammer right over support. So there we go. 5 minute on JNUG, I'm bullish. And there's that gap. And again, just like on gold, let's see if we can find it. Is it on the hourly? Okay, so hourly. Bad example, but we got the cup and handle here. Break, came back into the handle. Boom. Reversed. Gapped, filled. Gapped, filled. Gapped, filled. Double bottom. That's the hourly chart. This could be a bearish retracement back into resistance. So watch it, as on all of these, the daily could come all the way back into support. Finishing off the right shoulder. I'm hoping that these kind of U-shaped consolidations over that 8 is going to hold, and we're going to get a pop into previous lows. There you have it. URRE is back to 2. We got support here. We got support here. 2 lines of support here. You got a supporter here. You got the 13 coming in at just below 2. So, could it be a good time? There's a bearish retracement. Boom. Coming across the 8 right now through time. So I'm looking for a little pop. If it breaks previous highs, then you're liable to get back to 275 or so. If you can break 275, fill that gap, you're up to 3 again. Look for volume to come in. Can't do anything without volume. Breaking previous highs. Looks pretty primed for a pop. Although you got support coming in just under 2. Let's see. GFI. Someone had a question about GFI and I forgot yesterday. Goldfields. It's doing the same as everybody else, right? It's coming. It bounced off the 8 for support, covered the gap. Look for previous high breaks, breaking in the previous lows. You're good until this meeting line right here is where I was talking about resistance on the daily. 370, you break that, you can get into the 4 range where you got previous lows. But it's just doing whatever else everyone else is doing. It's got that long bounce, which you got a left shoulder head. I'm looking for a right shoulder to come in here. But as far as I can tell, it's pretty healthy, bouncing off the 8. Watch the closes or any kind of time under the 8. Anytime under the 8, momentum's dying. Four-hour chart, you can see that bounce. Looks like it gapped open. I don't know what that is. Could be a glitch. So you got a left shoulder head on the bounce. Previous high break came across and then closed. Nice little hammer right over the 8. So there you go. NAK. I think that was up today. Closing in though. Keep your support above previous highs. Looks like it popped. Pretty nice. Look for a whipsaw too. It's got to cover that gap. All gaps don't have to be closed, but they often do. Pretty nice. Good job, NAK. That J curve just proves itself every time. Let's look at URRE, the monthly. Hasn't even started yet. Where's that U? There it is. Nice J curve going on forever. Through time it comes across that 34 and pop. Still got to break that balance point, confirming the bottom. Previous lows up inwards to 7. So watch for another break. It's got to gather its legs, but this thing's ready to go for a while. Sure does seem like that to me. So for the gentleman that wanted to look at gas, gave me a couple examples to go through here. So let's do it. I believe you're short on this one. In and out. Short sometimes, long sometimes, I gather. So I'm going to downtrend. That's my trend on the weekly at all costs. That's my trend. Looks like a break. Lots of gaps. I hate all the gaps. Looks like you got a rejection on the upside. Looks like resistance is holding you down pretty well. Let's see. Let's go for a month. Yeah, that isn't. Watch your previous low breaks on the monthly chart. 3 times inverse natural gas. So, yeah, it looks like on the other half it would be bullish, which means gas, not inversed, would be bullish, because this is looking like it's going to break below here on a monthly chart. So let's see. On a daily, though, it looks like it's coming across. You got a reverse head and shoulders on a daily. Looks like it wants to fill that gap. If it fills that gap, I would be careful that it doesn't just slip on past. Let's see. Let's look at that monthly one more time. Let's get a line in here. And let's see on the daily again. See if it, you got to break into previous lows, and so far it's been rejected, but we got a left shoulder and a right shoulder forming. It looks bullish coming off of that 13, but if this thing slides at any and breaks that upward trend line on that right shoulder, your last line of defense is previous lows and this little line at about 250. So right now you're at support. So buy into support, sell into resistance. If this thing breaks down, then you're on a short, is what I would. You're too close to the support line to make anything out of that. But let's see, weekly, lots of gaps. Could be an AB bottom. This needs to, everything needs to get above and get into the pinch, above previous lows. Right now I would be bearish. Obviously, that's what you are, but yeah, it's having a hard time getting over resistance. So then, Beta Pro. See if we got anything here. Looks like an AV bottom. Too many gaps. I hate the gaps. Can't figure out. There's too many lines of resistance and support when gaps come in. You got lines of support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. There's too many gaps. But it looks like an island bottom here on a weekly. That's good. Reverse head and shoulders. Yeah. Break into previous lows. You might have a winner. Got an island bottom. Down, island, bottom. Nice hammer at the bottom. Gapped and ran. Covered. No, it didn't cover, but it came all the way back into support, creating that right shoulder. And I think that you might have the 1-2 punch coming in on the weekly. HND. Let's see monthly before we go. Eugh. Monthly's below the 34. Gotta hold the line. Hold the line. Got rejected pretty good right here. I don't know, I was bullish on the other daily, but on the monthly, weekly. I'm bullish on the weekly and the daily, but the monthly, I would watch out below. I mean, you got the monthly, you got a thin line here, and it could just fall, and then from 460 on, I mean, it's watch out below. Again, though, you're at support. So hold support, and you might have a winner. Because it looks like this thing likes to run, in the season. No, that's multi-year season. So it ran from 11 to 13, and then it ran from 15 to now. Another thing to notice is the 2 peaks. Might need some time between peaks. So you might be in and up and down for a long time. I don't like the monthly chart. I can tell you that much. There's too many ways for that thing to break down. You got a trend there, very long-term trend. I don't know, I would be much happier if I had support by the 8, 13, and the 34 on that monthly chart. And I think this is just a derivative of that last one we just looked at, but maybe not. Monthly's not showing very well, but looks like he's, yeah. I don't know how you trade gaps all the time like that. Oh my god. I got a bearish retracement on the daily, but it is at support. The 8 is holding. It cracked the 8 and came back into support. But is that the bearish retracement? Or is that the bottom move with the first opposing point? Time will tell. But I got the 8 and the 13 pointing straight down almost. It's got to fill this gap. Came down in. Crossed the 8, got support. Hit the 13, came all the way back into support on the 8. So it could build. But was this the bearish retracement? Cross that 34 and a continuation, or is that support going to suffice? Probability. The monthly's not coming in too well, but let's see if we can get anything. Looks like on a monthly it's huge J curve. Sideways consolidation for almost a year, for a full year. Huh. Nice hammer. I didn't see that before. You can see the cross of the 8. Boom. And then came all the way back down. Closed a nice hammer. Came all the way to the 13. Came back in. I'm going to have to change my outlook and say you might get a nice little pop out of this. But this is a monthly chart, and it could take months for that to happen. It got rejected by the 13. It might have to come all the way back into support and then make another run. Nice volume coming in. Hope that helps, but I'm calling a bearish retracement there. It might have to gather its legs to give another try at that 13. I mean, that gap and run, and then the bearish retracement. I'm bearish on this. See what happens. We got support down at 9. See what happens. And UGAZ, which is 3 times long. Alright, so now I think this is the same one we just looked at. Weekly. You gotta trade outside the channel on the weekly. Not a perfect channel either. That's good enough. So you can see the channel on a weekly chart. We are closing below the 8, 13, and 34 all together now. And it looks like the 8 crossed below and has that little curve. Or whipsawed, gap down, and it ran and it bearish retraced. I've got to go bearish. We do have a higher low. If this can keep going, I say it's double bullish because it didn't come down to its natural point. But what I'm seeing is, hell, I don't know what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing a whipsaw. I'm seeing a higher low. I'm seeing a bearish retracement. Look how it's just too hard to trade inside the channel. So see if we can hit support, watch resistance on the upside, breaking previous high breaks. You could get a nice huge pop out of that. Definitely. Above 60. Keep 60 as your support. And this is the same look I had last time. I'm bearish on it because that reminds me of it gapped and it ran and then it recovered slightly. That's a bearish retracement. That's a gap and run as a bearish retracement. It allows it to go further down. Might need to gather its legs. Watch out for the bottom of that channel at 20. Buy into support, sell into resistance. It's in between channel though. I would never, for me, I would never trade inside the channel. Only if I was at each end. So you got a pretty defined channel there. I would trade that thing. Breaking on the upside, huge. You got previous lows at previous lows at 80. You got a gap to fill at 100. So what is that? 675 break will get you 100. And you got slight previous lows all the way up. All the way up. 214 or so. Pretty nice if you can catch that break off that top. That's what I would be watching for. Right now it's holding and it didn't come back into the channel, so I'm saying it didn't come back into the channel support line. It had more momentum than expected and didn't come down to touch. So when I see that, I'm calling double bullish. But it's got to hold. We've got 2 more days of trading on that weekly chart. And for me, on this daily, it's bearish. So catch it at support or at the flat top break, breaking previous highs. Other than that, that's all I can see. Hope that helps. I'll see you later, guys. Please donate if you can. I appreciate everyone that has donated. It's like the greatest compliment. And happy trading. I think that we will see very big moves coming soon on gold, silver. Let's see if the dollar will hold or if that was just a fluke yesterday. But I'll see you guys later.